comments from fire district, environmental health, special districts, assessor's office were the basic comments. The majority of the comments were from Lake County Environmental Health, which is their standard permits and health inspections to get. So in terms of environmental review, this use is category exempt for 15301 existing facilities, which basically it's going to an existing building, it's not expanding, and it's similar to use, so it doesn't require a substantial environmental review. So for the motions, you can either move to adopt the resolution, which is PC 2025, or essentially approving the use permit, or you can move to deny the resolution PC 2025-04, or direct staff or an alternate direction. The applicant, Johnny Valera, is here tonight. If you have questions about his specific operation and internal workings of his business. He has done substantial improvements to that building as well, interior for his operation. But if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. I will bring it back to the commission. We will start with Commissioner Counts. Do you have any questions of staff regarding this?
I do not.
Commissioner Inglis?
I wanted to know how long this you've done. Yeah, but I figured you're not to yourself.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been in this industry?
For about 20 years.
Now is it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a really easy question. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's about what.
Okay.
Commissioner Smalley, do you have any questions for staff?
So the pictures that are included in here, that's what you've done so far?
Those are
what
cash.
pictures are?
Yeah, they're very low quality pictures. I could have got a little better, but
Yeah, but you know,
yeah.
if that's what it is, it looks really nice.
Yeah, I specialize in black and gray realism is my specialty. I also do a lot of color as well. And I'm versatile in a lot of styles.
Okay,
Yep.
that's all I had.
Commissioner Silva?
Thank you. My understanding, I asked a little bit of Mark Roberts. The use permit is actually going to be applied to the building and not to you, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got my insurances, my professional insurance, and all my certificates from environmental health and the city of Clear Lake.
I saw a requirement in there for an access manhole for your sewer, so they could monitor what comes out of the building. I read that on one of the. Does that sound familiar, Mark?
We have from special districts. He can coordinate with Lake County special districts to meet if that is an actual requirement for him for clarification. There may just be some clarity where they need to obtain it or get access to it that they may not have had the access before.
Okay. Yeah, the point I was making is that if you decided to leave that place, the use permit would stay with the building, wouldn't go with you if you moved across the street or down the road or something.
Okay.
I mean, that's my understanding. Perhaps Mark can explain.
Correct, so that if one applies for any use, whether it be administrative use permit or it could be a conditional use permit. That use would go with the land or that building itself or a unit. So if the applicant chose to say relocate down the road, they would just have to go through the conditional use permit process, and obtain a new use permit.
You know,
Thanks, man.
that's all I got.
All right.
And I don't have any questions at this
Okay,
time. Thank
thank
you. And seeing that we have no one in the chambers, I'm sure we don't have anyone that wants to ask questions. Do we have anyone on Zoom that would wish to speak on this item?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Madam Chair.
And has staff received any comments or via email?
We have not.
Thank you. All right. At this time, then I will close public comment. Staff, do you have any additional information?
Not at this time for this specific use.
Thank you. Any commissioners with any additional questions? Okay, then I will entertain a motion for this item.
I move that we approve the item under consideration. Do I need to say the numbers?
Yes.
For this categorical exemptions, CE 2023 assessor park normal. Excuse me, for 15140 Lakeshore Drive, I recommend that we adopt the resolution as written. Yeah, show for.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, may we please have a roll call?
Commissioner Silva,
Aye.
Commissioner Counts,
Aye.
Commissioner Inglis,
Aye.
Vice Chair Smalley,
Aye.
and Chair Williams.
Aye. Motion passes with the unanimous vote of the commission. Okay, we will go on to item number 2. The planning commission is being asked to consider conditional use permit CUP 2025-03. And corresponding environmental filing categorical exception CE 2025-04. To allow tobacco sales within an existing commercial building located at 14270 Lakeshore Drive, Clear Lake, California, further described as assessor parcel number 040-091-14. Staff, may we please have a report?
Commissioner Mayhem. Chair. And commissioners. We got a slide presentation coming up, so give it just a moment.
Oh.
But just some housekeeping items. As you see in front of you, there is a rental and conditional use permit that we have redlined, and there's a couple of clerical corrections on there. The first one is page 3, where it says CE 2025-03, it should be CE 2025-04. And then on page 6, clerical correction there, we want to delete 15 with the period. Okay. The other addition to that conditional use permit is page 4, item 12. We wanted to add to the COA the following verbiage, which is the selling, distributing, and offering for sale of any cannabis derived products, or any products marketed for cannabis use, regardless of state legality, shall be prohibited. This includes all forms of cannabis, whether for medicinal or recreational purposes. Operators shall ensure that all inventory and promotional materials remain strictly limited to tobacco, nicotine, and legally approved non-cannabis products. So we'll add that to that, and then at the end, you want me to make a motion to add that to the conditions. Yep. So this is for conditional use permit CUP 2025. 03 for tobacco retail in the applicant. Businesses located at 14270 Lakeshore Drive. We're gonna go look at this zoning now. So it's zone commercial downtown. In the immediate vicinity, the zoning is medium density residential and open space. So to the north is medium density residential, and surrounding the little red dot there where the location is commercial downtown. And down in the corner on the right hand side is an open space park. That's Highlands Park, I believe. Site context. So the lot is approximately 5,200 square feet, building's about 1,900 square feet. There exists on the site approximately 3 standard parking spaces and 1 accessible space. And those are fronting on Lakeshore Drive, so folks that pull in will pull in, head in, and when they back up onto Lakeshore Drive. Now there's an opportunity to share some parking space with the property next door, and for the downtown area, there is some verbiage in the zoning ordinance that allows for that to happen. Formal use there was clearly electronics. So site context, the reason why I have this particular one up here, the red dot, is the project side of the business. For the business and professionals code for schools, and Burns Valley School is located up to the north where you see the yellow line going up there. At the end of that is Burns Valley School. It's about 1,700 feet away. For the California Business and Professional Code 260.548 tobacco retailers premises, so it's not be located within 600-foot radius. Now, we don't have this as a city, we don't have particular distances that it has to be, but it is, you know, available to the city to do that, to make that even farther. Have distance between tobacco shops, that sort of thing. Also put on there where our parks are. So Highlands Park, which is only 300 feet away, and we don't really have any distancing related to parks, but just here for your reference. And then Highlands Park is about 2,800 feet away, and Austin Park is to the north. So the proposed business and operation, retail smoke shop, they have about 1,100 square feet that they're going to be using, which is 60 to 70% of the floor area of the 1,900 square foot that they will be using for tobacco sales. The remainder would be for general merchandise, apparel, small electronics, that sort of type of products or sale items. They're not proposing any smoking lounge or on-site use as proposed for smoking. So, which they can't do anyways by law. The operation hours are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Expected traffic, they expect 10 to 15 customers today. They will have security surveillance, no security guards. And no kind of improvements are planned at this time. However, I have to say that they will have to adhere to the County of Lake and the state of California requirements for how things are set up in there for a tobacco shop. Certain distancings and shelvings and access that the public can't have to tobacco products. So this is a schematic that the applicant provided. It's just a general concept of the layout. So as you can see, and it's not showing any rooms or anything like that. They have more of the offices on the left side, and then the actual sale of products are on the right side. Now, with regard to the mixing of tobacco and other types of products, such as t-shirts and that sort of thing, they have to keep some sort of distance between that. It's specifically required for food types for children, you know, that attract kids with about 5 feet, so they can't have those integrated, you know, tobacco and products in close proximity to each other. So, but they don't plan to sell any food product items or drinks or anything like that, just you know, apparel and memorabilia, that kind of thing. So this is just a picture of the front of the building. As you can see there, it looks like there's approximately 3 spaces, and then you have the ADA accessible vehicle parking space to the right. There, the driveway to the left goes around to the back of the building. Yeah, they will need to be compliant. That's spelled out in the conditions of approval as far as inside the building, ADA compliant, and outside parking, yeah. So this Article 6-10 tobacco retailers and certificates ordinance, which was adopted recently and which is with County of Lake, there was some coordination with creating this ordinance. So it's compliant with the counties where they match. Obviously, that would be the case because they have to follow state law. So it's pretty similar. So local tobacco retail license required for sale, so prohibits flavored tobacco at the self-service displays, sales to anyone under 21. That is the state act, which is stop tobacco access to kids enforcement act, so. On-site sampling or no smoking are prohibited. Other requirements, photo ID, age verification products stored behind counter, as I had mentioned earlier, and licensed visibly posted. No license for mobile or cannabis affiliated operations. So this is just a quick summary of the state county regulations. I'm just gonna drop down to Lake County adopted similar ordinance as we discussed requires. They will require regular inspections and they would be doing permitting for the tobacco sales retailer licensing. Other than that, the other state requirements, tobacco license are gonna need to get a tobacco license requirement, flavored there's a ban on flavored tobacco, so they're not gonna be able to do that. Again, the minimum age and other restrictions will be packaging must remain in original form, no delivery or third party sales, again, must comply with all tax and labeling laws. So CEQA, this is an existing facility, so it's exempt under CEQA. Conditions of approval, again, as discussed earlier, okay, items 2 to 13 are specific to tobacco sales, which I think staff is thoroughly interested in terms of regulation. Item 12, we've added that, which prohibits the sale of cannabis products. So we have 3 motions here. Move to adopt resolution PC 2025-05. Move to deny resolution PC 2025-05, or move to continue and provide alternate directions to staff. Yeah,
So it's not 04.
it is not.
It said 03, then you crossed out road 04, and that says 05. So,
Well, that is the resolution.
okay.
Right.
Oh, that was the CD I got.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I will bring it back to the commission, at this time, do we have any, questions for staff, Commissioner Counts?
So the ADA compliance with inside and outside, you said that they're already like in the process of making sure that's up to date, or that they're in compliance. Right now, they're not.
At this point, they're not, they haven't made any improvements to the property yet, but it is conditioned. And when they do their permit inspections with the county, they're gonna have to need some of that. They're gonna do any improvements in the building department here at the city. They're going to inspect that for ADA compliance.
So the county's not gonna do that inspection, the city would have to do that.
Well, they would do the permitting inspection, correct? Yeah.
Well,
For the
environmental health would have to do some of that stuff.
yes, yeah, environmental.
Environmental health and other agencies like that, but I don't think.
The building, well, yeah, so let me correct that. So for the permitting for the tobacco sales, that would be environmental health department. If there's any improvements to the inside, first,
That would be.
I'll
the
say
city.
that would be the city of Clear Lake. Yeah.
So. The ADA parking and I wanna be,
That's a little parking.
I wanna be clear,
Okay.
in California, it's not ADA, it's accessibility. Accessibility, chapter 11B of the California Building Code. That spot is definitely not right. But, I mean, they could, they put it on the other side, and if there's only one spot, it has to be a van accessible spot. So, and then the path of travel inside the building, it shouldn't be that difficult to take care of.
To repaint that,
Yeah,
and signage and all the good stuff.
of course, all
Or
that
accessible. And it has to be van accessible,
has to be van
yes, because it's only one space.
space. All right.
Commissioner Counts, did you have additional questions for staff?
No, I'm good. He answered it.
I think Commissioner Inglis, do you have any questions for staff at this time?
Yeah, are they gonna sell vapes? Are those the small electronic devices? Or what kind of small electronic devices are they gonna sell?
Well, they're talking about battery charger.
Okay, okay, made it, not waves, is,
No, that.
okay, I didn't see that,
There.
it not permitted on there. There, okay, I missed them. I'm. I'm madly pro growth, but I'm not, I don't not pro this, when I'll just say that right off the bat, I'm not thrilled with limited parking, why? Because there's like 6 other places to buy smokes right near there. It doesn't provide anything new, what are we doing for the city of Clear Lake, is there a really good tax impact that we would have? Is there something like that, that would be a question. For you guys, do you?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, is there some kind of substantial tax impact or something that would offset all the negatives that I'm seeing? And you guys never hear this from me, this point doesn't feel right.
I mean, any business that will open or is approved would offer some type of tax base, but the exact amount depending on that type of use, whether it be tobacco versus. A clothing store that's a small retail, you know, like a pop shop, I wouldn't know the exact amount we would get off that tax base off the top of my head.
Cause it, yeah, so I mean, like, would we be sharing on some additional tax? I find a huge difference between this and the previous one and even marijuana up here. Because those are highly regulated, you don't see kids wandering in and at least. Well, they both have black markets, I guess, but you can get tattoos any way you want. But kids can't get legal weed, it's cheaper for them to buy it on the black market and buy it everywhere else, but the only place that there isn't a black market in cigarettes, so the place where the kids are getting the nicotine from. And I'm glad they're not having vapes, because that would just. The only place they're gonna get tobacco from are from legal outlets, and the more you have, the more it gets out there, and the more kids get it. At least that's what hit me, and I have a lot of educators in my life, and so, you know, they're not real big. They're probably not big on tattoos either, but I didn't find any fault with that. It's funny that they came up at the same time, I found them completely different offerings, and I personally, unless there's some indication of something that's beneficial to the city, I don't know. I'd love to hear the chief's comments if that's okay, if you have an opinion at all. Cause you have to deal with some of this underage stuff.
As far as the youth, obviously, I mean, that's an issue with any big place potentially. With the grant the county got, we're gonna be working with them more to do some enforcement and try and do buying at different locations. This based on stuff in the staff report, I mean, it mentions only 10 to 15 customers a day, so I mean, it seems pretty low to me to. You know, if it's truly that low, no, it's probably not gonna have much of an effect on us as law enforcement, but. I don't see how, it's doing 10 to 15, they're gonna take business, but, I mean, if that's the case, I did not see a severe impact or anything that would affect the police department.
Thank you. 10 or 15 a day isn't gonna really make much of a profit or have any taxable income, I don't think. And it also bugs me that somebody applying for something, you know, like this isn't here. I don't know if they're here on Zoom or something.
They are on Zoom.
Okay. Maybe
Do you have questions for the applicant?
a specific question. You heard my questions. I don't know if they're allowed to respond or whatever. I'm okay with that. But that's just me. This gets me in some kind of different way.
Yes, the applicant can respond to any of the
And I'd
questions
like
that
to
you
hear
asked.
that. Yeah.
But let's wait and see if any of our other commissioners have questions, and then we'll
Thank you.
have them addressed.
That's it.
Okay, all right. Vice Chair Smalley?
I mean, I voiced my opinions on the accessibility. But is there curb and gutter and sidewalk going through there and all that?
Yeah, that's.
You know,
Not at the moment,
So
but there is, it is conditioned that the applicant pay in fees for curb
into
gutter.
this fund. Okay.
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Commissioner Silva?
There's pretty specific rules on who they can sell to. I don't know how much, policing has to be done, or if there's any done on selling to people under the age of 21, but that's still allowed, if I'm not mistaken. So, the only other thing I'd mention is that if I'm not mistaken, the building immediately, if you're facing this building, the immediate building to the left, which is now, I think it's a massage. And that used to be a tobacco sales place. They used to sell cigarettes out there.
That's what's.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I keeping the kids away, they can get it somewhere else if they're gonna get it, but, right there in front of everybody in town, I would think that would be a way to keep that to a minimum.
I think, I had quite a few questions on this one. The initial application said there was gonna be security guards. It mentioned a restaurant. The square footages were really confusing. I was able to get clarification on all of that from staff, but 10 to 15 customers a day. That, should that maybe have been per hour? That is how are they gonna stay in business at 10 to 15 customers a day? It just seems extremely low, so, I know that is something that I would like the applicant, to address, and then if they could, address, some of Commissioner Inglis's, concerns, that would be great.
Okay.
Commissioner?
How many smoke shops do we currently have in the city limits?
Off the top of my head, there's one located over by grocery outlet. Then if this one's approved tonight, there'll be that one. I think that's not counting the cannabis dispensaries, because that's a different topic, and use, but I think there's approximately, I wanna say 2 to 3, but I'm not counting the gas stations that would sell, cigarettes over the counter and Swisher Sweets or cigars or other tobacco products. That's just straight tobacco stores.
So there's not one over on Lakeshore currently. Where this one is trying to throw the bluff.
Not that I can recall. I think the closest one would be over by the Safeway one,
Okay,
over by grocery outlet.
okay, thank you.
There used to be one, across from Flyers, but that one's gone.
But then I also thought there was one across from Highlands Food Park, but then I guess that closed down also.
Well, we have a few places.
Yeah.
We have a few places that have not dropped the shovel in the ground yet that are also gonna be selling cigarettes. The gas station at Four Corners, the stores over by the hospital.
Right.
I mean, it's not like we have a shortage of tobacco, but I've said my piece.
I did have one other question before we get the applicant. You mentioned, Mike, that there was, shared parking spaces at the building next door. Is that the old First American Title building? Or at the place on the left-hand side of it?
There's potential for shared parking and in, for the code in the, zoning ordinance that is kind of encouraged that we do share parking. And then also as the improvements along Lakeshore Drive pan out, then there may be on-street parking also, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, is the applicant, available to unmute and answer our questions?
Hi, yes, I'm here. This is Musa Dalaji.
We can't hear them.
We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Hello, hear me now?
There's a mute.
Hello?
Can you try again?
No, I think you can do it here.
Hello, this is Musayed. Did you hear me?
We can hear you, but you're echoing now.
I'm sorry, the sound is not clear. Hello, I'm sorry, I didn't hear anything. Did you hear me?
It's still on. Allow you.
Is he still on there? Okay, can you hear us?
Hello, yes, I hear you. Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you now.
Oh, okay, that's good. Sorry, I think I have bad connection in here.
So we have a question about the number of customers a day. Are you anticipating 10 to 15 per day or per hour?
We just estimated when we first open, like for the first week. You know, when have a new business, we're just gonna get like 10 to 15 customers. But after that, like maybe next month or 2 months, we're gonna get, of course, more than 10 to 15 customers. We just put that statement for just like the first week when we open.
Okay, Commissioner Inglis, would you like to ask some questions?
Yeah, I'd like to know if, included in some of the legal things that you would be selling there, there's some things that I've read about that can make you high but are legal. Are you going to be selling any of those or just strictly tobacco products? Like other.
Just tobacco products. We're not gonna sell anything is legally.
Would you repeat that, please?
I'm sorry, we're just gonna sell tobacco. We're not gonna sell anything is not legally.
Just tobacco. Okay, nothing. That wasn't tobacco.
Please want to ask about papers.
Yeah, you already, that was the answer.
Okay, does anyone have any additional questions for the applicant at this time? No? Okay.
No, thank you.
So much. Alright. Okay, we don't have anyone in the chambers. Do we have anyone on Zoom or that would like to ask a question on this?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And have we received any email comments?
Staff has not received any comments.
Right, thank you. Then at this time, I will close the public comment. Is there any additional information staff would like to provide?
Madam Chair, so if the planning commission is unable to come to like a consensus or wishes to continue the item, like you mentioned earlier, you may do so, but staff doesn't have any additional information to add at this time.
All right, thank you. Does the commission have any additional questions on this? No, then at this time, I will take a motion.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution PC 2025-05.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution PC 2025-05. May I please have a roll call?
Madam Chair, would that motion include the changes that were proposed by staff?
My apologies, I would offer the adoption of the resolution PC 2025-05, including all the changes staff has made.
Thank you.
Commissioner Counts?
Aye.
Commissioner Inglis?
Nay.
Commissioner Silva?
Aye.
Vice Chair Smalley?
Aye.
And Chair Williams?
Aye.
Motion passes with the, a roll call vote of 4 and 1 opposed.
All right, thank you. Let's see, at this time, do we have a report? I know our city manager's not here. Senior Planner Roberts, do you have anything to report at this time?
For some of the past projects that were approved a year and a half ago, so the Danco subdivision, we're still coordinating with the applicant and they're working on getting their engineered plans to get their tentative map finalized so they can move forward with hopefully breaking ground this summer, I believe is our goal. We're still working with the applicant of Four Corners to get their demo permit, and they're working on fine tuning the site plan based on our planning commission meeting in your direction with some of your concerns. They met with us and are going to be resubmitting a site plan here shortly for us to get a quick look at again. So that's coming down the line. So we're hoping to see that develop soon. ARPO is on their way. They're getting close to completion. I believe they're just finishing up some of their building inspections. I believe they passed everything with air quality, so now it's just moving forward and completing their building permit process.
All right, thank you. Do any commissioners have any reports? Okay, seeing none. Any requests for future agenda items? Seeing none, all right. Thank you to everyone who took the time to attend or submit your comments, and to those who are watching our meeting on Zoom and YouTube. There being no further business of the commission, we are now adjourned at 6:54 on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025.
Sweet. There. That's what there's no. I don't want to.